Hello, everyone. It's not Thursday night, it's Wednesday night. And the reason for pushing forward one day, the fixtures have been released. Tony and Gary, thanks for joining as always. We're going to go through the fixtures here. And how you been, Tony?
Uh, I could be better. Haven't been
Struggling?
able to walk on my leg for 4 or 5 days. Got blisters and stuff.
Well, take care of yourself. Do take care of yourself. Gary, how you been? How you been?
Doing good. I'm doing good.
Um,
Doing good.
cool.
Yeah.
Gary, irrespective, this is a day I look forward to. The fixtures are released. Um, let's get your overall thoughts on them before we go drill down into them too much, and we will go into them in detail. But let's get your thoughts, Gary.
Uh, you know what? It. This is truly. It won't really matter until we know what our starting 11 is and what our squad actually looks like. Because if we if we were going to fully keep our squad, then I would expect to see some improvement from it. Just because they would have to. I mean, or else somebody's losing their job. I don't think that's going to happen. So, with that in mind, the fact that we're bringing in new players is going to be that period, maybe at the beginning of the season, where you're going to have to get them kind of acclimated to the team. So it's hard to I look at it and it's like, all right, there's lots of teams there, um, but at this point, it's really hard for you to tell who's what's what right now. All right. I mean, I think last season we actually did this after the first couple of games or something like that, or after we knew who's on the squad.
Well, we did a predictions. This is not going to be a prediction
Hmm.
podcast, but we did the predictions after about 5 or 6 weeks into the season.
Yeah, yeah. So, so no, the fact that we start off with what should be a nice team, but I have a feeling
Mm.
will give us problems because if everybody was after Ivan Tony, that's a good thing for them and good thing for him, which means he's going to come in and the way they played in the championship playoffs and stuff like that. It's going to be tough. It's going to be like that Leeds game, right? Leeds came in, played Liverpool to
Hmm.
like a 3-2 match, and everybody's like, "Wow!" And they actually played pretty well that season. And the problems that they had in that game, they had all season, right? So once you figure out their weakness, then that's when they have problems because they usually don't have backup. Their strength won't be in their bench until they can stay
And
for
you
a
know
little
what,
while.
Gary? You know
Yeah.
what, Gary? Season before that, Norwich came up, and Pookie was a revelation. He scored quite a few goals in the beginning of the season. So, if you think Brentford away from home is going to be uh, Brentford away from, I'm laughing because I put Huddersfield in here, and they used to be
No, I
Brentford.
mean it's on the road again. I mean, we played Fulham on the road to start the season. Same thing, right? That was their first season coming in, but with no crowd. All right, so this will be a little bit different because there will be a crowd there, so that's going to give them extra juice, right? A little extra push from the crowd.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, definitely. Crowds
yeah,
back are going to give it a little bit extra. Uh,
yeah.
Want to bring in Lonzo, and we're going to get into this then. Lonzo, how you been?
I'm pretty good. How you doing,
Good,
Lorraine
good.
and Tony
Uh,
and Gary?
Want to
Yeah,
shout out Urban Ghost. Hi guys, Stefan. Hello people. Hope everyone's good.
hey there, guys.
Uh, Stan is catching a little bit of funny chat before he has to go to the dentist.
Oh no,
Yeah,
Oh
I know.
no.
I had a cleaning recently. There's still not comfortable
yeah.
issues, you know. Ray Anderson
Stan's is going
Wednesday.
in for nitrous oxide.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday, Ray Anderson, because of the fixture release, and we wanted to get our teeth into it. Another dentist fun there. Oh, the dreaded dentist. Who the hell is Lukonga? Well, apparently he's pretty decent midfielder and a player that we're linked with. But you could say that about a lot of players this
Well,
season.
well, until today, we were linked with Locatelli, right? So that's gone out the window. He's got to close these deals early before people see them play.
Should have seen the disclaimers you had to sign. Basically, if Stan, we don't hope you die, but it's all on you if that's what happens. Apparently,
Yeah.
brushing your teeth before you go to the dentist to get your teeth cleaned. Yeah, does anyone else feel like they have to have their teeth clean before they actually go to the dentist?
Well, you know what? A good reason why you do that is because then they can tell how bad off your teeth are, right?
Yeah.
Like if you go there with like Schmitzel and all this food on in your teeth and stuff, that it doesn't really help. Then spend all that time just doing what you're supposed to do, which is brush your teeth, and then go in and go, all right, you got a lot of plaque buildup and all that. So there is a science to it. It does seem like a waste, but I think it makes it go faster, and less of them poking at your teeth is always a plus.
I mean, I haven't had a colonoscopy yet, but if I'm having one of them,
Oh, God.
I'm taking care of stuff before I go in there.
Well, you're supposed to not eat anything, so you should be clear before you go in there. Yeah, but
We
if you
already
want
know
to,
you're going to be
if you
shitting rainbows and unicorns,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, if you want
Yeah.
to, yeah, no, and it doesn't help if you have food in there, so you have to come back. So that would be the worst, right? You go in there, they do all that what they have to do, and they go, you know what, your bladder was full, and then you gotta go back and do it again. So it's probably not worth it the second trip.
Yeah, so listen, we're gathered together. We're going to get off the that kind of dentist talk and doctor talk and all that stuff. We are going to get into something more surgical. Alonso will kind of start off with Gary, kind of start off with Tony, but we'll continue with you, Alonso. As Gary said, last couple of seasons, teams have come up. Last season it was Leeds, gave Liverpool a hell of a time. Season before that, Norwich came up, and Pookie was really, really good. If we're looking at our fixtures here, and the first three games involved Chelsea and City. That first game against Brentford away from home as well. And Gary just mentioned the supporters being back in the stadiums, which is a great thing. That's not going to be easy going to Brentford.
No, it's not. Considering Brentford had a good team last year. Of course, every time a team gets promoted, right, somehow the best players are gone by the time they get even started. So it'd be important that they keep their players so they can be active and stay up to the league, And so it's always good to see a team that's been promoted up stay up, and not go back down like Norwich does every year or West Ham used to. So it'd be good to see them stay up at least. And so yeah, but I think the tough teams are Chelsea and City, of course. We got the double last year against Chelsea, right? And the City, we didn't really do that bad against goal difference wise. We didn't score goals, but we didn't get blown out. So that's always something to look forward to, I guess. But I think we played City last year very tough in years past, and with Chelsea, we beat them close enough to where they couldn't really make a difference in those games. So I think I think with Chelsea it's always a big game, right? Because it's every game, and City always gives us a hard time. And like you guys have said, Brentford they're promoted up, so they have something to prove. It
Mm.
needs to weigh into our place. So I think that'd be a hard 9 points to get, but I think we get at least 6, maybe 7.
That's lofty heights there. It's going to be tough. I'm going to go to Tony next because Tony, we're going to play Brentford away from home. The fans are going to be in the stadium. The Brentford team, will be pumped up for that game with the fans behind them, and they're going to want to get a good start because they know, they're looking at 40 points for survival. And then, of course, we have the mega rich clubs in Chelsea, Champions League champions of Europe, and you have City, the EPL champions. So that's a tough start, Tony.
I don't think it's that tough. Look at Chelsea's schedule or City's schedule. They have 4 or 5 of the top 6 in their first 6 games. I think just City and Chelsea will be the only difficult ones for us. We should be able to do better than last year because of what you stated. We have fans in the crowd. They'll be able to drown out Lego Man shouting at everybody. We don't have Danny this year, so we won't be hearing Gabby Gabby all the time when the fans are drowning him out. I think it's to help the players be more creative, more free, not micromanaged. I think it's to help more than signing new players or anything else, just drowning out the manager from constantly shouting.
Yeah. So, Gary, Brentford away from home, then we face up to Chelsea at home, City away from home. Let's take the first 3 games there, Gary.
Yeah, well, as Tony described, we've got to deal with Lego Man, right? So, how's he going to play? How's he going to set up for those 3 games, right? And will we have the same lineup for 3 games in a row, right? Because it'd be nice if we did, because at least we would. Because I think he's not going to be able to do a good job in those 3 games if he's switching up every game. All right. I mean, it's a start to season. There's you're not resting anybody unless they're injured, right? So your starting 11 should be your starting 11 for a little bit of time to start the season off, and then you can figure out whether or not you need to make drastic changes after that. So, unless we see something different, which is what we always say, those first 3 games will be telling of how Arteta's coaching style has hopefully improved, matured into something better than what it was last 18 months, right? I mean, Chelsea home, and I mean 2 away games. We could be 0-3 and still and actually have a decent season just because of the way that we're starting out. But we could also be 3-0 and it'd be a smokescreen. So we'll see. But I mean, it's good to get start with these guys and we'll see how it goes. I guess the problem for us, right, will be both Gabriels will be out, right?
Yes.
Most likely
Right.
won't be maybe resting and stuff like that because of the Olympics. So we're going to have a center back pairing that's probably not our starting, and we won't have that guy coming off the bench most likely. That's how it typically works out for us, right? If you do anything in the off season, you're out for the first week or 2 of the season for some reason. So we'll see if that changes. If those players come back rested and stuff like that. I think those first 3 games will be telling, and if they go really bad, it's going to be hard for him, after that.
Yeah. So a very, very difficult first 3 games. Brentford won't be easy away from home. That will be, it'll be a real acid test and another thing, Alonso, we will have to have done our transfer business weeks before the first game, August 14th at Brentford. We can't go into 6 weeks into the season not having our targets brought in.
Yeah, and we also have to say bye-bye to Xhaka and Leno if they both want to go, right? And I don't know, I haven't heard that much noise on Xhaka yet, but I think there's some players that can fit Xhaka's role on the team. But other than that, I think in the past we kind of had to worry about players that played in Europe, them had to come back, and in the past they've been rested. So I think that this year we had to have 4, and with Saka, I think that it depends on how much he plays for England. I think we all hope that he does play at least some parts of it. However, I think he's still young where he doesn't need that much rest. But I think the toll with Arteta put on him last year took a toll on him. And so I'm hoping that he doesn't get overburdened like he did last year.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I think there's got to be some movement made before the deadline happens this summer.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely we have to have a settled team going into this, and looking at these fixtures, I know Stan and I are of the same mind. Up until probably the end of October is where Arteta will be judged. And these first 10 games will bring us right up till the end of October. So these are the first 3 games will maybe there'll be some mitigating circumstances in as Chelsea and City, but then you go into Norwich, Tony, Norwich, Burnley, and Tottenham. Those are games you got to pick up a reasonable amount of points in.
I think, like I said, I don't think our schedule is that tough. We get 2 newly promoted sides, some bottom half teams. Just City and Chelsea is really what we have to worry about.
Yeah.
I think we'll,
Brentford and Norwich.
Not good.
Yeah, Brentford and Norwich will give us those tests as well, Tony. That they're newly promoted, they're going to give it a go, and Chelsea and City are always going to be difficult. And then we have a North London derby as well, and that's going to be the 25th of September, Tony.
Yeah, just hopefully we start off strong. Hopefully the fans get behind. Hopefully there's not too much protest and all the stupid shit that always makes the stadiums half full. Hopefully we have full stadiums and the fans get behind the players.
Guaranteed, Gary, that if the fans are allowed back in, the stadiums will be full by that time. We've all missed football. Fans have been away too much, and as long as it can be done safely and mitigating all of those circumstances, Norwich. We can't look at this, Gary, without thinking about last season as well. Burnley away from home, Granit Xhaka, that mistake. Tottenham at home. A nice win there last season.
Yeah, I mean, if you go into it and you think about last season and you expect teams to improve, and some of the additions that some of these teams are making. I mean, Chelsea, if they go a little crazy and get a striker, City gets a striker. Norwich, we know already got a good, nice midfielder for attacking. Burnley has the confidence, all right? The Spurs are that's an unknown there. Is Kane still going to be around? It sounds like Son will be there still, right? Brighton, will they be missing a Basuma at that point? Will they be missing a Ben White? Will they be missing, there's like at least 3 players, right? They could be missing, by the time the season starts, depending on what happens in the market. So yeah. I mean, the Saka thing, it's more of the stuff that he does away, some of the stuff that he needs to do away from the field, right? I mean, he needs to put more muscle on. He might be somewhat muscular, but he needs to put a lot more on because he's going to get beat up. I mean, you look at
he's getting targeted every game.
Yeah, you look at Grealish, right, and he looks like a big stocky guy, but he can't compete with the wear and tear of taking those hits over and over and over again. So Saka's going to be the same way. So I think it's imperative that he kind of bulks up, but that's not going to happen, right?
Yeah, Gary, you look at Grealish against Arsenal in the FA Cup final 5 or 6 years ago. He was not the player that he is now. He has bulked up, and that's a great point. That Saka will need to bulk up to withstand those, fair shoulders, but the physical aspect of the game.
Well, the trick is either you bulk up or you get faster, right? So then they can't touch you. So, pick one or the other. Right, it might be easy to get faster, even though it's not such thing as just getting faster without doing any kind of extra work. But because bulking up, I think is going to take some time. So this is also why those kids are ahead of schedule. I mean, if they were under that whole fold-in program that he went through before he's at where he is today, they would have time to mentally prepare, and who knows what they do when they're not playing if they get more time to work on themselves. But he, Saka's not getting that, not with Arsenal anyways. So it's gonna be tough.
So we see here Stan is a fan of the Saw movies. He's continuing that concept through Ben White and Saliba competition. Put him in a room, throw a baseball bat on the floor, and just say, "Only room for one." Lock the door. No comment.
That's Arsenal kind of hurting those players though, right? If you bring both of them in and then they can only play one, I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's like that's like saying, bringing in a young, wing player, and then having them compete with Saka. You to some degree it might be good because they're going to get the rest, but in other cases it'll be less than what they got in the previous season. So, are they?
Yeah.
It's a catch-22, and it all depends on what their plan is. Does Arteta actually have a plan that goes out for 5 years, or is he looking at today? Right? What do I need to do today?
I believe it is a long-term plan. I believe, Gary, but he may not be around to oversee it.
Well, no. If it was a long-term plan, then he wouldn't have done some of the things he did in terms of pushing those players to have to play so often, bringing in a Willian who he didn't think. All these maneuvers weren't based on all right players that are going to help build up the squad. Right? That's not that wasn't going to happen the way they set it up.
As Don Juan said here, Brentford, a newly promoted side, and the European champions and Premier League champions, they know how to screw us. The computer does, right? It's random, right?
Yeah, just and then we're gonna get the best quality officials for those 3 games, right?
Yeah. Listen, when you have bad officials, and then you see, what's bad when you see what's good, and you can't have good after the Euro 2020s are over. You go back to the bad. It's like going on holiday. You're in a nice house, and then you got to go back, to where you're at, and it's not as nice. Madison is overrated for me. Okay, so yeah, Gary, Tottenham, Brighton, Palace, Aston Villa, then, and Leicester. Pretty tough way to finish out October just there. Brighton and Palace, not too bad, but Villa and Leicester, those would be our competition, our would-be rivals.
Yeah, this looks worse than our first 10, I believe, in the last game because the last season because I think we actually thought we could probably get about 6 wins in the first 10, and this one we could possibly have 6 losses easily. With teams that are improving themselves, right? I mean, your Chelsea's, your Cities, your Norwich, your Spurs are a kind of a wishy-washy there. Your Villa and your Leicester, right? I mean, those are 5 solid teams there that we're going to have to play. Not worse than other teams, but Arsenal is not in that same building process as some of these other teams that are already either established or getting better. Norwich is getting better, right? If they were healthy, that would be, if they were healthy last season, you don't know where they would have been, right?
Norwich will be playing well coming up from the championship. So inevitably, people will ask, how many points from these 10 games? When I add them up, well, I go through them.
Okay, you go.
4,
yeah. Well, I mean,
7, 10,
let's just go with the wins, right? The good wins that we should be able to get, right? Is Brentford, Burnley, Brighton, Palace,
Norwich.
So Norwich. You think Norwich isn't going to be better?
I think we can beat Norwich at home.
Okay, true.
Yeah,
sure. So that's what 5.
5 wins and about 3 or 4 draws. So we're looking at about 18 or 19 points as a rule.
You sure? You think? I'm just going on Chelsea, City, Leicester, Villa. So those are 4 teams. You think we're going to win 2 of those? Or sorry, we're not going to lose 2 of those.
We have to find a way. If we're going to get better next season, we have to find a way to beat a Villa side. We have to find a way to beat Leicester away from home, which we did last season, but to do it consistently as well.
Yeah, it's the early part of this season, though, right?
Yeah,
and they're going to be healthy. I think when we played them away, I believe they weren't so healthy.
They were beat up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think they had just kind of got knocked out of the Europa at that point, if I recall, right? A week or so before that. So it was a pretty bad bad turn they were on. So this will be this, So yeah, it will be a challenge, but it should be a welcomed one. We'll see what Arteta does. He should be looking at this kind of going, all right, we go out, we can build for our second and third game in our first one. That's what he should be doing, right? He should be going, you know what, we're going to come out and play Brentford like we would Chelsea and City. If they do that, then we should be able to win that match easily, all right?
Yep.
And then go from there.
The guy's talking about Ramsey. Great goal by Ramsey today. Letting Ramsey go was a dreadful mistake by Arsenal. No doubt about it.
It's bad, but it's not. We can't afford. I mean, they screwed that up long before the last year of his career with Arsenal. Right? That was the ship was already taken on water at that point. Everything about the way the team was being run was just terrible at that point, where he could walk away like that, and it makes no sense for a player to sit around and take a pay cut at that point, and that's what was going to happen, right? That it makes no sense, and that's why you got to get them early, so then they don't want to stay in there, and they're part of the solution and not just another player who's going to look for big money. So, yeah,
It's a great point from Ray here. Remember that some of the teams will be in some sort of European competitions. Yeah. We are going to be waiting and stick around till toward the end. The last 11, 12 games of our run-in looks pretty decent. The last 10 or 11 games. So first start of our fixture is pretty difficult. Obviously, Chelsea, City, Tottenham in the first 6. So. Tony, Alonso, anything else to say about that first 10 games?
I'm going to be optimistic here and say we get 22 points.
Alonso, what do you think about the first 10 games before we get to the next 10?
I mean, it really depends on who we get in the transfer window. We've been linked to a lot of players, and it depends on whom leaves as well, because there are players in that team that don't deserve to wear Arsenal badge anymore, and I think we all want Arsenal to do well, and not disappoint like last year. So we only hope that Arteta, kind of learns his lessons. But anyway, I'm quite confident we could somehow, use that momentum like we did last year. If we use that momentum like we did at the end of last year, we'll be okay. I think we may finish like 23 points, 24 points, like that.
Wow. You guys have.
Sorry. I mean, like maybe.
I'm usually
like 19.
19. Yeah, there you go. Tony was up in the 22s, right?
You guys have a lot of trust in Arteta, who you don't have any trust in. You have a lot of trust in our recruitment. Like I think it was whoever said there was Sam mentioned that, but I think everybody. You have trust in our recruitment, which has been sad.
Yeah.
And now we want to. Yeah, and then you have trust in the fact that KSC is actually going to supply some monies to the team. Somehow more than just their sales, because that's the thing, right? If you're supporting, it's not you sell 60 million pounds worth of player and then that's what you buy. It's 60 plus whatever extra they're going to allow you to spend. To
be determined, Gary, and of course, if we're bidding 40 plus million for a defender, you have to believe we're shelling some money out for midfielders, fullbacks as well. And we know we're not getting any kind of decent money back for Granit Xhaka, Eddie Nketiah, all of these players. We're not going to be able to sell for well.
And that all is dependent on actually seeing something you haven't seen.
Correct.
If you think they're going to spend 40 million on a center back, which then should translate to we're going to spend a lot of money on the midfield, right?
We saw last year.
What part of Arsenal over the last 10 years would actually say, you know what, that's the way they're trending?
Well, they paid 40 million.
Been spending the money.
Thomas Partey.
Have a last minute.
Anyway,
and for that 50 million, they could have gotten how many players? Based on the fact that they would have to put down and probably pay for them on installments for, could have gotten a Neves, could have gotten a Buendia, could have gotten an Ivan Toney, could have gotten a Basura. Lamptey, all these players that were that could have been available during the offseason last year. But no, they went after the big fish, right? At 40 to 60 for Awar and 50 for Partey,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So like I said, what have you seen that leads you to believe they're going to change?
I said to be seen, to be convinced, to be seen.
Yeah.
But you got to believe at some point as well. Don Juan, maybe it's good playing City and Chelsea early. Both have loads of international players on international duty. It might be a good time to catch them out. Could be indeed. We might get one.
Very tough schedule.
Yeah, they have a tough schedule as well. As Don Juan says, might be an advantage to play Chelsea and City with players still away and not in form yet. And this could lead to, we don't have a lot of players playing in the Euros. It could help us as well.
Okay, we have Saka, we have Tierney. Who are our top 3 players in our team?
Saka, Tierney.
2 of them.
We have Gabriel and Gabriel playing in Olympics. Who is our best player coming off the bench, and who is our best center back?
Okay, Gary, your point is taken.
That's why these deals need to be done already, and we're not doing that. That's the problem.
We live in hope that the other players, the peripheral players, will step up as well. You know what I mean? Those players who are not internationals, not away on duty. Let's get to the next set of fixtures, the next 10. So after October, we go into November, and it starts with Watford and Liverpool. Watford, Tony, is another one of these teams that has come up, had to stay season in the championship, but have come up this year. Another newly promoted team.
It's another team we should be beating.
Correct.
Yeah, they have something to prove, but starting in November is usually when them teams start kind of slacking off and the points start dropping. Points for them are harder to come by starting in November and December.
Let's take those block there, Tony. After Watford, we got Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United, and Everton. That is a tough schedule. At a time that traditionally Arsenal struggle in the season, November.
Yeah, I think it's tougher than our first 10 games. That's gonna be a kind of see what the team has by then. We'll have all the players set by then. We'll see if Lego Man has the team firing, or we were like we were last season. See if we're 15th. See if our fans are screaming from the rafters to sack my man. We'll kind of find out who we are in November.
As Brownie said also as well, if you have youngsters coming through, which won't make it, then get rid for a good pass transfer fee rather than hold on to them and watch their value decrease. Gary,
that's what we do, right? Value decrease, player devalued. I mean, that's all we've been doing. Like, Willock should be gone by now, right? If we didn't play him last season, put him on loan, and he did well, they should sell him.
Can't sell unless you have a decent price. Not going to sell your car at a low price.
We have to sell a lot of players, so we're going to be taking losses. We are not good. We don't close. What outside of Lacazette, who's going to make the most money for us, right?
Bellerin.
Bellerin's going to make it as much money as Lacazette. Tony?
You said
Tony?
You said besides Lacazette.
Gary came to fight tonight. Gary came for a fight tonight.
Besides Lacazette.
This transfer stuff is pissing me off because we're not doing anything.
It's only been open a week, Gary.
But we're not closing. Other teams are closing, right?
We don't want to sell Granite for 15 million euros.
Not much.
We don't want to sell him for 15 million euros when we could have got 40 million euros for him.
That's mute. That point of 40. It's too late now. Can't go back in time and pick that money up. It's gone. That money's gone.
Yeah, but 15's too low. 15's too low.
Yeah. I guess this is the problem, right? We'll sit around trying to get the 20 that we want, and then we'll eventually just sell them for 12 because that's what we do,
Who
and
are we
then we'll
talking
be
about? Shaka?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 15's too low. I do agree with Tony. If they want 15, we might as well keep them.
Yeah.
There's a certain point where you say no, it's not a good deal, and you walk away. You know.
And 12.8 million pounds is
Can Arteta
ridiculous.
can Arteta work with Xhaka after trying to sell him?
You can't.
Can Xhaka actually not take it too personal when
He's
he
a
comes back?
professional footballer.
He put his hand around
They
somebody's
tell
neck,
you to play
so
goalie.
he's not all business and professional, right?
He'll go play goalie for us or
They're all
striker.
professional. It's a professional game.
I don't know.
Professional game.
I think there'll
If
be
he
a
doesn't
little
get
bit
his
of
move, he comes back and he plays for Arsenal.
yeah.
You know. As Ray Anderson said here, as we're talking about, suppose Roma drops out of Xhaka, do we keep him? Let's talk about this for a second. Alonso, I'm going to set it at 17.5 million. I want nothing less than 17.5 for Granit Xhaka. If we don't get that, he comes back. What do you think?
I think like Garrett has said, we devalue our players a lot, and we need to get the most of Granit Xhaka because was it a year and a half ago when Arteta wanted him back, Hertha Berlin came in with 40 million, right? And during that time, Xhaka hasn't gotten any better, but you want to sell him for the value you think he's worth, and 12 million, 15 million is not enough for me. And so, but you need him for depth if you're going to sell him, right? I mean, if you're not going to sell him, might as well play him. But play him in like cup games, early cup games, right? And who knows? But I think you're right, Ray. I think if a buyer doesn't come in with a respectable fee, then you got to keep him, right? I mean, because what good does it do for a team if you're just gonna give up and just say, "Hey, here here's Granit Xhaka. You could pay him you could have the fee for 12 million." That's dumb,
Well, what price would you set it at, Alonso?
She's 18.
18. Thereabouts. Gary. What
Gary doesn't
price
give
are
a
you
fuck.
selling? What price are you keeping?
Gary would take you for a pound.
If they're gonna do the business that they did last season, it shouldn't matter how much. We sold for losses all. We did a lot of that already.
Where's
And
your bar?
my bar, he should have been
Gary
sold
said
already.
buy out a contract if we got to.
No, I mean that's when it comes to when a season starts up and they've done that, then nothing has changed, right? And I don't foresee much change right now. I mean, like Lonzo said there, right? I mean, kind of devalue your players, and it's easy. Like and like Sam said, I mean, European countries don't have any money.
What price
So-
do you value Xhaka at, Gary?
Should be 20.
Okay. Well, you gave me an answer. That's good.
Yeah, I don't like the answer, but it should be 20. I mean, if you know what? They're not selling him the right way, right? As far as I know, everybody who's saying that if we sell Xhaka, we need to replace them with a better player, is also saying that he's been our most consistent player all season. So that's what
the two things can be mutually correct.
That's what Roma's getting, right? Again, a player that doesn't sit out. He will play wherever you want him to play, right? Those are positives, right? He's got some good leadership skills when you hear him speak, right? He has some quirks, right? But those are some of the positives that people are saying is the reason why he's a good player, right? His passing into the final third is really good in the league, right? You compare him with some of the best in the league, and he's right up there. That's how you're selling him. That's how you you go into, like when they try to lowball you, like, wait a second, look at what he did for us, right? He plays anywhere you want. He's versatile, and he doesn't get injured, so you're getting your
Not
money's
always
worth,
a good
right?
thing.
No. When you're selling somebody, that's how you would. I'm not a really good salesperson, but that's how it works. That's why all these other players get sold for more money than they're worth, is because the person that goes in there knows how to sell. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We don't do a good job of that. We probably go in there and go, here you go. And they're like, well, you know what? Why are you selling them? That's at that point you're in trouble. All right.
All right. Well, 20 million for Gary. And leadership skills, I'm looking at Watford, that home game. We remember that 2-2 game where he pretty much said we were scared. Granit Xhaka, as the captain, said we were scared. Tony.
You're not saying that when you're selling him. If
No,
that's what they're
no.
doing, then
Yeah.
yes, he's worth it to be discounted. That's not happening.
Tony.
So you got to think about when you're selling the player, not when when you're buying them. Then the other team's going to be asking you what happened to the Watford game, right? That's when they go all right, we can take $1 million off of this because you know what? That's what we know we're getting.
It's all on tape. They would know what kind of player they're getting. It's Jose Mourinho as well, and he needs him for a project. Tony, what price you selling Xhaka? What price you keeping him at?
15 million plus 5 million for his new blonde hairdo. So 20 million, like Gary said.
Okay.
And as I make a point, we haven't sold a player since 2013 for more than we paid for him.
Correct. And this is frustrating. I feel Gary's frustration. We all have the same frustration.
You're not improving the value of our players.
Nope.
That's what that means, right? So they're not getting better. They're not getting better when they come, and when they do get better, we screw them over and they walk away. Right? That's what happens. All right. At some point, Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Gabriel will get smart and see the nonsense that's going on. And the next thing you know, the contracts won't be sold. It'll be 2 years, and we'll be out of control as far
Gary,
as
there's certain truth to what you're saying, but also we did change our paradigm in the last 5 years in buying experienced players. Didn't get us anywhere, but you pay top dollar to get those experienced players in, and you don't sell experienced players for profit very often when they're coming to the end of their contract. Not the right approach, as it turned out. Hopefully things can turn around when we start buying younger players, and I think we're starting to target younger players. Tony, you had something to add?
As I say, Gary was saying about players like Smith-Rowe and Saka seeing the truth. Smith-Rowe might be seeing that since he hasn't put pen to paper yet. That deal should have been done before the season was over. Now we're getting close to the summer, and he still hasn't extended.
Emil Smith-Rowe, right?
Yep.
The longer it goes on, the more stressful it gets for us, right? Because we know, all right.
This is a concern, Gary. It seems like maybe the agent, rightfully so, the agent is saying, "Hey, you've done well for half a season. You're a marketable asset now, and you can command a decent fee or a decent contract at least with Arsenal, right?"
And Arsenal can't show that they're trying to improve the squad enough to say, "Look, we're going to put lots of better players behind you, in front of you, next to you, right?" Than what you already got. So, I mean, he shouldn't have much strength in this negotiation because of his injury record, right? I didn't do anything bad. I just drank a lot of beer and ate a lot of food. That's all I did. Nothing bad.
He had a good time. In this day and age, a good time is that.
Yeah.
Good for you, Gary.
Yeah. Would I take? I think it's Ray. Would I take $5 million for Xhaka? No, because no. I mean,
we already had the bar set at 20 for you. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not taking 5 for him. Yeah, he's worth 20, right? He's worth 20 to us. So that's why he should be sold like that.
Definitely. I mean, if we don't get, I'm going to go to you now, Alonso. If we don't get 20 for, Granit Xhaka, he's a player we can keep. and we haven't yet strengthened midfield yet. So why would you strip your assets when you haven't got players in house? And Aston Villa are doing it the right way. They're getting players in before they're gonna. We all know Grealish is gonna go eventually. Alonso, Emil Smith Rowe. It's a little bit worrying, right? Aston Villa putting in a cheeky bid for 25 million.
I don't think we should worry about that because he signed a contract, I think, last year, right? Um, so, but
Yeah.
I don't think we should worry. I think that
I don't think so either. I think it's hard as with Arsenal at this point in time. You know,
yeah,
as long as we can make it
and I think he
a
knows
competitive.
I think he knows he needs to improve, and I think he sees a young core like Saka, his friends, being there, and as well as Martinelli. So there's no reason why we shouldn't think that he's going to leave. Aston Villa are just being, like you said, right, cheeky because they signed Buendia, and I think they know that sooner or later that Jack Grealish is going to leave, and I think, like you said, right, I think that I think that he knows that there's talent about there can't be talent behind him with Balogun and Gabriel. It's just a matter of which Aubameyang is going to show up this season,
Yeah.
and Lacazette as well. So there's plenty of talent in front of him. It just depends on how Arteta can do more with him, and or what happens as far as midfielders coming in. And there's no reason why Middlesbrough Road can be our number 10 either. So I think the future is bright for Middlesbrough Road Arsenal.
Yeah, Ray Anderson, to make it worse, when Jack goes, his fee won't be able to buy someone better. That's true. It will be halfway to a better player. Only halfway, probably. Tony, any other words on Emil Smith Rowe, or do you want to move on with the fixtures? Your call.
Yeah, move on with the fixtures.
All right. Liverpool away from home. That's a tricky one for us. Newcastle should be able to deal with Newcastle at home. Man United away. Everton away. Southampton away. Really, three in a row there. It's going to hurt.
You never know with Manchester United. That's always just a toss-up game. Form goes out the window. Everton, we should be able to beat. Southampton, we always struggle against them for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Don Juan, I think that's a pretty decent point. I think it's twofold because the club hasn't moved in a way that would give Arsenal fans confidence. So we always do seem to undermine our own players, destroy their transfer value with negative perception. I don't know if I want to say maybe the fan base doesn't impact the price. Do you think, Gary? I mean, the player is the player, right?
The player is the player.
Do you
If you're looking at the
think
skills,
what we think of them makes a difference in the transfer market?
it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, once Xhaka went on the market, supposedly, you heard a lot of people talk about his footballing, right? A lot of it positive, not much negative. I mean, he's not going to command much money and not enough to replace him. So that goes out the door. But if you're talking about having depth, then he should be on the team, all right? Because he would be a good squad player to have on your team, and that's kind of what
we have talked about him as a good squad player.
Yeah. So and you know what? Would he mentally be able to do that? That's the kind. It all depends on the kind of player he is. But he that's what you want, right? You want him backing up your midfield, right? Then you want El Neni to some degree, right? El Neni's a cheap option, but he isn't as solid as Xhaka is, and giving you segments of time there. So yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, what is it? Somebody said these are 6 away games here.
6 away games. This segment of 10 games.
Yeah.
So it's a tough stretch, and Man United the end of November. Man United into early December. Everton and Southampton.
Yeah, this could be a tough one going into the holiday season, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is this stretch of games is no different than the last one we had, right? This first 15. If you go by the first 15 matches, right? First 15 matches, right? We're playing basically the top. We're going to hit all.
We had City, we had Liverpool, we
Yeah.
had Wolves, we had Aston Villa, we had Tottenham.
Yeah,
it was a murderous stretch.
and we need to win. We need to win those matches that are ours to win. All right. Even if we lose to the top 4 or whatever, we need to win those matches that are the ones we have the advantage.
You look at that, Gary, and if you're looking at Arteta and the way he can navigate these 15 games, the first 4 or 5 are very difficult.
Yeah.
And the last 4 or 5 are very difficult. So, he's going to have to gather. They're going to have to gather points where they can first half of the season.
We're going to have to go pretty strong. So, I mean, hopefully that's strong with players that they pick up, right? It's going to be up to new players that we're bringing in should be playing. I mean, if Basuma's on the team, he would be playing in those games, right? You would expect him to be playing. They pick up Ben White. I don't know. It just seems like we need to go as strong as we can. So we need to have a solid team coming in.
Yeah.
We
need to have. Listen. There's 2 months. 2 months till the season starts. The next month can go by, but after about 4 weeks from now, we need to start getting our targets in house. I know you want them sooner than that, but it may not happen.
Yeah. Then we're back to square one, doing the same thing we're doing before. We're going to be going into these preseason matches, right?
If you get the players in 4 weeks before the season starts, that's enough time, in my opinion.
Yeah, but this is Arsenal, so those.
We never do, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
How long could we
get the low hanging fruit. Right?
All right, Tony. Let's make a little wager. I would say we're going to do the majority of our business before mid-July.
Before mid-July, so right after the Euros end.
1 month from now, we'll get most of our transfer business done. Agree or disagree?
Take that bet.
Be determined. I'm not sure.
Take that bet. Take that bet.
You're going to get your turn, Gary.
You're going to change it up on me because I would take this bet.
No,
take that bet, Tony.
Don't say anything because he'll tell you influenced him later when he's wrong.
Oh, you're right. All right. Don't take it. So I said take it, and I said don't take it all in the same breath.
All right. Ray Anderson disagrees with me. Listen, we have to do this. We have to get our business done before the season starts. 4 weeks before the season starts.
You keep not before the season starts. We need to get it done yesterday. Basically, we are not a team that can hold out.
See that? He just disappeared.
Now he's gonna forget everything we're just talking about. There, I got it. You know what? Now he'll say I said it, and it won't be recorded. So then you know what? There's no record.
Come on. Okay, Tony, I'm staying with you. Will we or won't we get most of our transfer business done before July 16th, 1 month from now?
We got to start selling players first.
Take the bet, Tony. Take the bet, Tony.
Alonso likes living in the past. He likes all our ex-players more than the current ones.
You're bringing Alonso into this. He doesn't want to answer the question.
So I'm not break with trend, and I'm not agree with Ray.
You're going to agree with me?
Yep.
Okay, Tony agrees with me, Gary. July 16th.
Sucker.
July 16th. Gary,
I
don't believe that. July 16th, you said we're going to have the bulk of our business done.
Yes.
All right. What does that bulk mean?
If we ultimately bring 4 players in, 3 of them will be here. 3 out of 4. That's a bulk, right? If it's
that would be the bulk.
3 players, we got 2 in. Fair enough.
But if it's 2 players and we get 1 in, is that the bulk?
It's a gray area.
That's a gray area.
It probably wouldn't qualify. I would say I'm wrong then. That should be over 50%, okay?
Over 50%. Got it. All right. You
Fair
heard
enough.
it. Heard it. You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here first. And
July 16th.
Ray Anderson does not agree. Tony agrees with me. Alonso, will we get the bulk of our business done by July 16th?
No, because
Right down the middle here.
Gary's always right. We do our business way too late, and we keep it going until August 31st, deadline day.
Stop living in the past.
We don't do anything. Am I right, Tony? We do our business way too late.
Way too late, yeah.
Where people will start playing, our new signings are still getting ready for a new season. That's how it always happens.
Okay, Alonso, I'm going to hit you and Gary up with, but we're going to be ruthless this summer.
Go ahead, Gary.
We haven't been ruthless because we can't even sell Xhaka right now. Bellerin we can't sell. I mean,
things are going to happen, Gary. It'll take time, but it'll start heating up. It'll start going.
We're trying to extend Nketiah so we can sell him. Supposedly that's how it works. Like, I don't know if it's
Now
just
we're
public.
trying to sell him,
Maybe we just
supposedly.
do things more public. But I don't know.
Now we're back to selling him again, Gary.
No, but we still want to extend him so we can sell him for more because that's how we do our business, right? We always extend and then we sell for more because we extended them, right? Holding, we gave him a new contract to hold on to him because he's going to be worth more to somebody in the future. Nobody's buying Holding. I'm sorry.
Hashtag Salma Hayek here. There is more chance of getting the stock from Salma Hayek than Arsenal doing the transfer business. They should be doing. Nothing will happen until the end of August. Rainbow Ray in full effect. And Tony got sucked in as well, Sam. Tony got sucked in as well.
I think Tony's on some rainbow stuff right now. He's seeing colors. He's whatever that. Yeah, look at his eyes. Yeah, he's seeing colors like all these multicolored rainbows flying in front of him. Little guys with hats running.
Alonso's rainbows.
Tony wants to ride my lucky streak here. So I'm in the league. I'm in the lead with the Euro 2020 prediction challenge here. So 9
I'm
corrected.
doing good. I did 2 less games. I have a higher percentage than everybody else.
You didn't get your predictions in. Didn't get your predictions in.
Tony has the highest percentage.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Percentages don't matter. Only points matter. Remember that the transfer window is still open when the season starts. So, Ray, what you saying goes to the last day of this transfer window or when the season starts. Ray, I understand. I am setting the deadline for us at July 16th, 1 month from now.
So July 16th, I don't know if we have a show. I guess we won't have a show probably on that day, but maybe the day after.
Give or take, it will be. Right?
Hands up.
Can we go back to closing a window when the season starts instead of 2.5 weeks later?
I think there's a lot of benefit to doing that. There's a lot of but it's not going to happen.
But it makes no sense for for all of the teams, right? It makes no sense to have the window open, because I think if I recall, a lot of those other teams they start the season before us. So right, they started the season already
3 seasons ago, but other European clubs
can we get
longer?
Did you see what Locatelli did today? There is no way he's anywhere close. He's not on our radar anymore. He was there. Everybody's like, Locatelli. You know what? He's all right. Today, everybody loves him. Nah, there's no way. Yeah. You know what? He's looking at Arsenal going, I'm sorry, wrong number. Click.
And Gary, that's why a lot of things don't happen until these tournaments play out. Players are in the shop window right now, playing out of their minds, trying to get a new contract with another team. So, unfortunately, these things happen. Yeah. Gary, the last 4 games in, I think we've gone to Southampton away from home. West Ham, they're going to be under the strain of Europe. They're going to feel what we were feeling maybe last season. So maybe West Ham's a team that we can, flip the script a little bit on this season. And Leeds, maybe. And we finish out with Norwich away from home and Wolves at home. Critical games here. I'm looking at Aston Villa, Wolves, and Everton, teams that did doubles over us. We want to try and flip that script on them.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough stretch because you've got three games you definitely should win, and you've got some struggles there with like the Leeds, the West Hams, the Wolves, Norwich, Watford,
And
right? I mean, they shouldn't be struggles, but the way we've been playing is pretty tough, right? So.
And starting with Everton all the way to the end, that is our December schedule. So Wolves is the 28th of December.
So what's Norwich would be our Christmas Boxing Day game, right?
Yeah, Boxing Day.
So that could be yeah. So Emmy might have something to say about that, along with the other Emmy, right? There are two Emmys sitting there. Oh man, yeah.
Norwich to be handing out Emmys all over the place.
And that's when we had our turnaround. This past season, right, going into that match. So hopefully it's not the case, and it doesn't really it doesn't matter as much as it did this go around, right? So, But like I said, I need to see something change, and so far nothing has changed, right? In terms of the way we do business.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet, but I think
in 4 weeks, we will see a change in the way that Arsenal does business.
I'm second guessing it a little bit, but I said it, so I'm sticking with it. You know what I mean?
I want to be wrong so bad, but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen anything that leads me to believe it's going to change. Right,
Alonso.
Forrest, Gary, you haven't seen him yet.
What's that?
I said Dick Blick said go in and change everything.
Alonso, Sam Green, with West Ham will have a similar season next season with Europe and not a big squad. They will struggle a lot more. I doubt West Ham will have a similar season. So, they're going to struggle, Alonso. We're going to face them early December.
Yeah, I mean, I think after West Ham, they did something that I think all of, they took the league by surprise, right? They had a strong team last year, and credit to them, credit to David Moyes for giving the boys a chance to succeed. And they played us really well last year, and the second game really showed their strengths, I guess, and they don't give up, which was kind of cool. They didn't give up against Spurs, and they let us get back in the game. The second game against them in last spring. So I mean, I want them to do well in Europe because it's someone new. However, I think they give us a tough time every year. Well, lately they've given us a tough time.
Yeah.
So I think they're better coached than we are, Arsenal are, and that's kind of unfortunate because David Moyes used to coach Arteta at Everton. With that being said, I wouldn't mind a David Moyes coaching Arsenal, because he's experienced and he get the boys going. Where I think that's where Arteta lacks.
Yeah. And Mirai Anderson points out we did take 4 points from West Ham, but
that second half of that match was telling of how the season went, right? Because we were lucky to get those two, get the 2 points we did, right? So
I can't even begin to explain that game, Gary. It was such a crazy game. You don't know whether we did great to come back and get a point or whether we were terrible and we should have picked up.
I'll talk about the first one, right? Because we got the win, but that one that was the West Ham that blew us out for 30 minutes. That's how that game ended, and they just weren't lucky enough to get those goals at the end of that match, right? We were all sitting here like.
Yeah, we told Charlie,
win, right?
We gave him a pat on the back and we said, Charlie, your West Ham did pretty good second game of the season. And we thought we would march on up the table and they would struggle down there at the bottom. Little did we know how the season would pan out when we met them back in springtime. That it would be a 3-3 game, crazy game.
Yeah.
But Tony, do you think Arsenal should act bullish in the market and go after a player like a Soufal, West Ham?
Yeah, Tony.
I'm
You
giving
like
Tony
him
all
here?
the tough questions tonight.
Good.
Soufal, do you like Soufal?
Not really. There's no player I'd be going after.
Should we act more bullish in the market? I mean, you see Aston Villa doing these things against us. Probably trying to unsettle Emile Smith-Rowe with that 25 million bid. We should be doing something similar to teams around us. You know, teams that would not mind stepping up to Arsenal, looking at Arsenal as a stepping stone in their career. You know.
Yeah, but for some reason we don't like to buy from the league. We don't like to buy from the championship. I don't understand why. We like going overseas and getting our players. I think last season would have been the perfect time with the 3 teams that got relegated. We should have got 2 or 3 of those players, but we didn't go after any of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As Sam said, Soufal is pretty good. I put in a great cross there for one of the games recently. First game against West Ham, we did get lucky. Don Juan, we did. But we lost games that we thought we shouldn't have lost. That's football. Okay, so Wolves will take us up towards the end of the season. And that'll be 20 games then. And who knows? Who knows what will happen to Arteta? Let's go around the house and ask. Am I deluded thinking that Arteta will survive the season, Gary? And let me know in the chats, everyone, as well. Will Arteta survive the season?
I'm going to say right now, no. But if they go out there and spend the 200 mil like everybody thinks they will, maybe I'll have a chance.
And, it's very early doors to be making predictions without knowing what we're going to get in the door as well. But right now you're thinking it'll be difficult for Mikel Arteta to survive the season.
I mean, he could get smacked in the mouth in the first game of the season and then have to play, like, what? The 2 top teams, one of the top teams in Europe and one of the top teams in the league.
The two Champions League finalists, in effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think that right there would be a really bad way to start.
And Ray, you could tell, Ray Anderson, you could tell by the way I was sort of thinking about it and laughing to myself. It's like, I'm a little bit deluded. If I'm saying here right now, Arteta gets through the whole season, it's with more hope than anything else. Hi, Taib. Nice for joining. Thanks for joining us. Alonso and Taib, will Arteta get to the end of the season, Alonso?
Wow. Like Gary had said, they need to spend wisely. They need to spend for needs and not want more so. It's tough because a lot of the teams in the table are ahead of us are actually pretty good. I think that he needs to have a good start and not mess up in October and November and December because those months really hurt us a lot. And they were against teams that weren't very good at all. So, or they didn't finish the season very good. Like Wolves and Burnley and those teams really hurt us. And they should never be undermined because they never know what kind of team will show up to play against Arsenal. So, and then they know our weaknesses, right? So, it's a tough question.
Of course. Because I'm here to ask the tough questions. Right. That's what the host does.
So I think he'll last only because you'll see a refreshed Aubameyang aka Boomerang, and Pepe came on so strong at the end of last year that I think Pepe is make a difference this year. I think this year is going to be an important, and I think he'll also break out Pepe and so Moses Rowe.
Oh
I
yeah,
think you'll see these young kids show up, like Martinelli. I think, but Arteta has to learn how to trust his younger players as well, in order for him to be successful.
yeah. And as Don Juan says here, I think this is the key. Don Juan Arteta gets until December. He needs top four, and I think he's got to be floating around top six, be close to that area. If he ever drops into a mid-table position, it's going to become untenable for him. Tony, will Mikel Lego head without the cursing, just Lego head, right? Will he get to the end of the season?
Can I cuss on this part of it?
No.
I think it's.
These are not
I
difficult
think
questions, right? And you've had the benefit of Gary and Alonso answering first, so you should have your answer ready.
Yeah, but I had my answer ready and you censored me. Anyway, he's been talking about how the team's been lacking because of the crowds. I've been saying the players don't do as good because they're getting micromanaged. That's all I do is hear him shouting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with the fans in the stands, we have a lot better chance to be where we want to be. We're playing teams starting off that's in Europe, that had players playing long into the Euros, long into the Olympics. And I think we got a good chance to get a good start. So, yeah, I think he has a good chance of holding on. I'm going to be the positive one.
Who is this, Tony? Did somebody take over your body for this tonight?
I
like it.
finished in fourth on 72 points last year, so I just stole some extra rainbows and unicorns from your
Tony,
Lucky Charms.
Hey, Ray, it's because he's Rain. Rain.
Oh yeah, he's
I called him Ray.
Rain Man.
Enough.
Ray Anderson, I mean Arteta needs to be challenged for the top four or in the top four. If Arteta is in 8th place in December, has to go. Yeah, Don Juan, I kind of do agree with you on that one. Hopefully it doesn't get to that point. You know what I mean? What was the other thing I wanted to say? African Cup of Nations, Gary, is going to come into play. So this next 10 games here going to be into January and February. So we're going to miss a few games here if we don't. We're going to miss some vital players for this month here. And it looks like a tricky schedule again. City and Tottenham. Then we got Burnley and Wolves and Chelsea again.
Yeah, well, I mean, up top will be somewhat okay, right? Because you take Pepe out, you're probably moving Saka around. And
Yeah.
Bring in Gabriel.
And Aubameyang.
Right?
Aubameyang might have a short trip away as well.
If he's still here.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. So no, I mean, we'll just be really young, right behind the striker, whoever that striker is at that point, right? Is it Lacazette? Is it Balogun? Right? Are we playing Balogun at that point, or whoever our strike is if we get another one, right? But yeah, no, it's going to be tough. But that's why we needed depth anyways, right? We need depth anyways, and we have players that can move around, right? So Saka can move around and play pretty much anywhere on that left-hand side, right? Whoever Partey's replacement is, right? He's going to have to be somebody who's not leaving us. Rainbow Rays cancel culture.
What did I do?
What is he canceling?
Yeah, I don't know.
He doesn't need to cancel. He wants to keep everybody.
Sam might expand on that.
The cancel culture. Rainbow Ray fan circle. You are, see?
Ray's celebrating Pride Month. Get over
Yeah,
it.
he's gonna have to come out with. You're gonna have to come out with your rainbow suit and your hat and all of that, dude.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Just
mean,
to, if you're gonna get
hey,
the name,
listen,
you're gonna have to show us how it's done.
that's why
We got
we.
Darren in the chats. Welcome,
Yeah,
Darren.
welcome, Darren. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully, your broken foot is feeling better. He
Oh,
broke his
no.
foot. He made it worse jumping for. Oh, okay. It's not better. Jumping for
First you
joy.
were scaring your. First it was scaring your dog or your cat. Now you're breaking your foot.
Is my cat okay? Did you break his tail, or is the cat perfectly healthy?
Yeah.
See, there we go. There's the cancel culture. Yeah, he's muting Tony. There we go. Now he clarified. So there
Right, man.
I thought we'd like at least a clean one. You wash your hands, Tony.
it didn't even come out. It didn't even sound like Tony though, did it?
No, no.
Okay.
Somebody's controlling him. It's not me. I didn't hear what amount of points you guys predicted for the last batch.
Oh,
We're not gonna.
I think that's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah,
I mean, I
we're
think
not,
that's gonna be a tough one. Look at that. Where we? Oh my gosh.
we're not going to do that. But what we might do, Ray, is we might just do a rough. I'm not going to hold everyone accountable. A rough points prediction maybe we'll set the points for what we expect to have at the end of the season.
I'm going with 20 in this period, even though it does look crazy. Oh wait, this is when we don't have people, right?
Yeah,
So
the African Cup of Nations.
So I'm going to go with 15. I'm going to be really negative.
Also, Gary, what's going to happen is the into February here, the second part of the schedule, the second five, other teams will be playing in Europe. We will not. Hopefully, we're going to be in the FA Cup and involved in that. I know it's near and dear to Sam's heart, like it is mine. But again, this is an advantage. This is an advantage we need to carry throughout the season, Gary.
Every game matters, man. We can't be taking games off. We're not that good of a team.
Yeah.
So we're that's what we did this year, and it hurt us. We took a game off Southampton. We lost. We basically set ourselves up to fail against Man City, and we lost. Did the exact same thing again in Europa. We did not set ourselves up to win that, putting our best players in the best positions at that point, and it came back to haunt us. So yeah, we got to take it seriously.
Alonso, tough 10 games here. City starting off and finishing with Aston Villa and Leicester at the end of this block of 10.
Yeah, I mean, the City always give us a hard time. Lately, it's been Leicester and Villa. But we can beat those teams as well on our best day. Chelsea, last year we had a double against them. So it is a hard task. Liverpool is always tough as well, but they had issues last year. So, I mean, I think it's been a tough task, but I think we get probably 18 points out of the 30.
Three of us were born in FA Cup winning years. Gary and I, in one of those winning years. Don't know if we want to mention
I
the
didn't know
date.
anything of that.
No, but it's nice, right? We were born in a double. We were born in a double winning year. Who's the other one of the two? Tony or Alonso? All right. And Alonso.
79.
All right. Okay. So let's look at the last three games there, Alonso. Watford, Leicester City, and Villa. Winnable games. Villa away from home is going to be tough.
Yeah, like I said before, they've had a number last year. I think they got a double, right? So, they got good coaching over there, and they have good players. I think Jack Grealish is always a threat. As well as Ollie Watkins. So, we should beat them. But then again, we're Arsenal, right? So it's always messed it all up for us or for them themselves, and so yeah, and Leicester's always good as well. I think Vardy's always been a thorn on their side, so they're a tough team to play against as well. But we beat them last year too, so hopefully we could do the same, get a double against them. But Brandon Rogers always he's a good coach. He's a good coach for them, and the players believe in him. And so I think that they're always a hard game.
Yeah, taking those 3 games into account, it's going to be Watford away from home, Leicester City at home, and Aston Villa, as Alonso just talked about, and add them to these 8 games here, and you've got 11 games coming down the stretch, where I see only Manchester United and West Ham away from home as being really difficult games.
Yeah, but United to be missing somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we got a good chance to beat both of them. Both of them are at home. That helps. So, or I guess one of them's at home. Sorry.
Tony, is it setting up similar? I think Gary's outlined the first 15 games for Arteta. Tony, going to be difficult. Does this seem very similar to last season's schedule of fixtures? We had a much easier second half of the season.
Yeah, you still got to play every team twice, Ray. Last year, like you said, we were second in the form table. The year before, we were third in the form table. We still came out struggling out of the gates last season, so it's hard to know.
Yeah.
That's why you have to be right, Ray. Your dream has to be right if you want to see us come out of the blocks pretty good.
And and my if it's a dream, my dream is Arteta has started to figure things out. There's still things that baffle me about that Gary, about him. Namely, we should be, as you know, sitting here in the Champions League right now, because we should have won the Europa League, no doubt about it. How you wouldn't play Saka as left back in a major European
side?
Yeah. So my dream is that he's reflected a lot over the time off that he's had now, and he is going to continue. The squad has to be trimmed down, as we did in a previous podcast, Gary, and he's not going to have that latitude. He can't switch the team around as much. He can't tinker with the team as much as he did last season.
No, I mean he shouldn't have to. He should know his squad by now, all of them. All the ones that are on the team right now, he should know their pluses, minuses, where they're going to play well, and how, and then whoever he adds into it, he knows what he needs to fix the team. That's where we should be right now, right? All the players that he's bringing in shouldn't be like, well, we already have a player that does that. Is he a starter? We should be bringing in one or two starters at least, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're spending all this money. These players should be starting for us at this point, right? Nobody's spending 30, 40 million on a player that's going to sit on the bench,
well,
especially in Arsenal.
Stefan's got a great memory here. I remember 71, but I was a little kid. My cousin and me fell over a Arsenal ring, and my gran was so pissed off with us. She stood on it. Wow, a great memory. If we can get an average of 20 points from each batch of 10 games, we'll end up with 70 points. That's exactly the name of the game, Ray Anderson. If you can average 2 points a game, you're gonna be where you need to be when it comes to the top 4 conversation. And Alonso, a player like Emile Smith-Rowe, when he's in the team, he averages you 2.17 points a game, Alonso. So he's vital for us.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think that with Odegaard on the team really helped his development as far as number 10 or wing player. I think that they work together, and I think that this year, if we don't sign another number 10 or other midfielder, I think that Emile Smith-Rowe is more than ready and capable of taking over that spot. Like I said, Arteta just has to trust him and ability to make it work. And yeah, and it was just to be healthy. But this is like,
I think you're just cutting in and out there, right?
yeah.
Ryan, Anderson, what amount of players do you think we should have next season? I go to Gary because he argued. Who was it argued for 22? Was it Gary on the previous
It's Gary.
podcast? He wanted more. Gary always wants more. Somewhere between 21 and 25. Where do you think our squad should be, Gary?
Where are we right? Where were we this season? This
25.
past season? 25.
You know, last 15 games. You
Well,
don't have room for 25.
We didn't have enough depth this season.
Somewhere in
could still
between.
keep
we had 20.
25.
Yeah, well, think about it. We had 25, and we went to the bench, and it was terrible, right? Ceballos, no. El Neni, we knew there was going to be a drop off. Cedric couldn't even get to play, right? Holding, we really didn't want to have to play, but we had to, right? Marie, no, right? He's second to Gabriel, right? But he might get to play. So I mean, we had just in the defense, we had Tierney had to be healthy, and Bellerin and whoever and Chambers, I guess, on the right back, right? So, wow, yeah, I think we need. Yeah, I mean, I think we still need 25, but we just have to do pretty well with our recruitment for it, right? And that's where, yes, we're gonna keep 25, but we're not. Maybe we'll sell players and we buy some big ones, but we buy some, team players that are in that 10 to 15 million range, right? Which they don't have to play every game, but we know that we're going to build on it. So,
or we could use some academy players this year. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that. Ray Anderson said squad depth was a problem last season. Exactly right. Too big of a drop off. What we need to do now, Gary, is move out some of the weaker players. Ceballos, David Luiz. Not that he was a weaker player, but he's moved on, and these players have to be replaced now.
Miller, Zaka,
and Ray Anderson said here. When we make the UEFA Champions League next year, we have to buy more players to supplement the current team. So, in actual fact, losing out in Europe might, in terms of stripping the team down, might have been a blessing in disguise. Tony, Gary, go on, Gary, go. One of you.
I think we, like Ray said, our depth is just terrible. We need more players. I think we still need at least 4 or 5 just for the midfield alone. We need to get some of the academy players in there besides just signing players. But we got to replace players like Guendouzi, which will probably go out on loan again. We need to replace Ceballos. We need a Odegaard. There are all kinds of players we need to replace that probably won't be here. That just depth is horrible on the squad.
Yeah. Alonso.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get a prediction from all of us here. This is our run in. This is how it is. How many points? Just roughly, how many points do you think we should be aiming to land on to finish the season? And we're not into predictions yet. We're just loosely just talking about it.
Maybe 74, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Tony?
I have a minimum should at least be 72, especially without any Europe.
What did I say last season? Do you guys remember, Tony? You remember what I said?
68.
75, something like that. You were pretty high, 78.
You guys are saying in the mid 70s almost now, right?
Yeah, I'm not going there. I'm going the high 60s.
Yeah,
and we'll be out of the Champions League again, right?
68 will get us top 4.
No, it won't.
It did this
Well,
year.
I'm not going to mid 70s. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go 71. Like my favorite year 71.
73 from Darren. 73, 74. Okay,
Nobody's
I'm
gonna say
gonna.
69.
You can go 69. Yeah, I'm not gonna cancel you.
I'll stay at 72.
We gotta do a lot better than we did last time, and like you said, we don't have those additional 10 to 15. I guess we were out one match, so 14 extra games, and we need to be able to play well in all those one-offs, all those one-off games. So
All right,
yeah,
I'm gonna drop out for a second, but I want you guys to talk about, and I'll start you off. It's a what if section, so I'll start you off, Gary, with my. I've got two what ifs. What if Aubameyang has the same season as he had last season? What do we do once transfer window's closed? What do we do?
he's not playing. If Aubameyang is playing the way he did in the last season, this one, he's not playing. Right, you might as well go look at your depth and figure out a way to get Lacazette out there and help with help support those wings and then get if Balogun's on the team. Well, that's another question: is Balogun actually going to be on the team at that point? But yeah, if Aubameyang is struggling again, then it's not. It has nothing to do with anything in regards to a contract or the system doesn't work for him because he knows what the system is now. He knows how he needs to play. So that should be no excuses coming into this season. All right. He's going to have a whole off season to get ready for this. Will his eyes be on the AFCON? I guess we'll find out. But if he's struggling, we should be able to sit him. All right. It's going to come down to form, and we're not going to have opportunities to let him work it out. There's no Europa League games or European games for him to come in and maybe get some of that form back. So yeah, if he's struggling, that's when you need to start being ruthless as a manager and start figuring out who your best players are and get them out there on the pitch, right? Lacazette has shown that he probably can do it if we're keeping him. If we pull him, if we let him go, we need to bring in another striker, right? Or Martinelli is that guy who becomes the second striker, right? Maybe that works out if that's the plan going forward, because that's going to be the future potentially, right? So yeah, why not? If he's not working out, sit him.
Yeah. We saw Alonso last season. Aubameyang walking around during games. This was the early part of the season, even. It wasn't when he had malaria. So what's the plan if he doesn't work out? Do we keep Balogun around?
We should, and with our tips trying to force him in there, a boomerang, then there's no reason why he should just wait for him to just work it out, like Gary had said. Because if we don't, we do. Because that was, I guess, constant striker, and when we don't have everybody playing their part, we don't do that. We don't do that good, and that's when Aubameyang was at his worst. Is that he was just walking around, hanging out, and not making an effort to want to make a difference. And so I think Lacazette is more better fit as a captain. And Arteta has options out there, and why can't he just use them? And this is where I think he doesn't know how to make those decisions and be ruthless to bench Aubameyang when he needed to, and that's I think killing the team.
Tony, do you think we need to freshen things up a little bit? Or do you think we have enough there if Aubameyang doesn't perform next season? And how many games do you think we'll need before we know if Aubameyang's back or not? You know what I mean? When we play
Probably
Chelsea and City in the second and third game.
Well, he never scores against the top six. He like one goal every 400 and some minutes against them, so he's not clinical at all against the top six. I think we need to sell him. I think we should have got Edouard for a little Peasley 15 million, which we could have got from Nelson or Eddie. I think we need to sell Eddie, upgrade on him. And I think we need to sell Boomerang and upgrade on him.
I think just by bringing Balogun into the squad and giving him 20, 25 minutes, that could be almost like a new signing in of itself. I think.
Yeah, but we should have seen him last year.
We should have seen him last year for sure. So I'm going to let you guys think of. Gary, you got anything?
600K a week for 2 strikers. Who out there is worth 600K?
Messi.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't.
Ronaldo.
We don't even have half of Messi.
Mbappe.
We don't have half Ronaldo.
Haaland.
But we're spending that much money on our 2 strikers, right? Who are aging.
And that doesn't include 45,000 goal bonus for Uba.
Yeah, but he's got to score. He's got to put himself in positions to score to get any kind of bonus. I mean, he needs there's a lot of money to put in to invest when you're talking about a squad that needs. We need monies, right? Mm-hmm. The fact that we're not even hearing any of their names in any kind of talks. I don't know if that's because it's behind closed doors and they're actually being ruthless about it. But having both of them, like just looking at the money, having both of them is just kind of kills a lot of what you're trying to do, right? So we can probably agree with most teams on most players as far as their salaries, but we're not paying the fees, right? So that's where you sell one of your big guns up top, big guns supposedly, and you get some money for them that you can use to put into the transfer fees.
Would you be afraid of selling Aubameyang to Chelsea?
Yeah, because they've got a lot around them. They don't have that. Yes, I mean, look at Werner. I mean, you put Aubameyang in those situations consistently throughout a game. I mean, if he fails, then it had nothing to do with Arsenal and the players around him. But I suspect he'll be okay taking on all those opportunities that he's going to get. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's being ruthless. But then that's what do they call it? What's that phrase? Biting off your nose to spite your tongue, whatever that thing is.
Mm-hmm. Biting off your nose, spite your face. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what we would be doing. We really need to sell them, but we really don't want to put ourselves further behind the top 3 teams at that point, right? There would be number 3 or 2 in the league at that point, right? So we'll be even further behind them, but maybe we'll get the money we need because that's really what we were looking for, anyways, right? Maybe it won't matter. So if we could sell them and get the money, this is where you have to be ruthless and get the most money you can from if you're going to sell them to Chelsea.
Chelsea have enough of our players, says Darren. Alonso, where are the extra goals coming from this season? Is it going to be by committee? Is it going to be a lot of players? Lacazette, I think, played really, really well last season, and if he stays, we hope he gets the same amount of goals. But we need probably 10 more goals to be shared around, Alonso.
Yeah, like I said before, I think when Pepe was on fire the last 2-3 games of the season, you saw his potential and what he could do. But Arteta doesn't really know which lineup to use because, like, case in point, like why is Aubameyang playing ahead of Pepe, or why is he playing ahead of Lacazette, or why is he playing ahead of Martinelli in some cases? So it depends on which lineup can Arteta use that will benefit everyone. And you could say, well, Pepe could get those extra goals, or Saka, or Moses Rowe, or Aubameyang, or Lacazette. The front five rather had to step up, or the front four, and Arteta has to look at tape maybe and realize what he's doing right and wrong, and they have to grow. The players have to grow once, eventually, right? So you have to hope for the best for this year as far as youngsters getting a chance to score goals.
Tony, you had something?
I'll just continue on with the topic. I think Willock can score. You got Martinelli that was barely used last year. You got Smith Rowe that can go up and score more. You keep Aubameyang, sell him, keep him on the bench, whatever, to get more goals. Pepe, because Pepe should have been playing on the left instead of Uba. But I think we'll do all right.
This is a good question here from Ray Anderson. Chelsea come in for 70 million. Aubameyang, would you do the deal? I would do the deal. Tony?
I would do dirty deeds for the deal.
Gary?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we need the monies, all right?
Yeah, 70 million for an aging player.
They need a striker. So, I mean, one thing, you guys are talking about 10 goals. I think we need to be getting close to that 70 mark in goals. So we need 70. We need 17 goals. I mean, I
think we got 55 last season.
I'm looking at what we did in the Premier League. It says 53 here. So we need 17
we need about
goals.
20 extra goals.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good round number. So Aubameyang is good for on a healthy Aubameyang should give us at least another 10 goals.
Raise, I say 15 is a good round number. Like 3 was last week.
Yeah. And once again, we expect Pepe, Milsrif Rowe, Xhaka to all contribute to that goal count more than they did this past.
Martinelli too. Martinelli did well with the limited time.
Martinelli coming off the bench should do good for us, and every once in a while, Tierney is good for a goal here or there, right?
Yep.
We should be able to. We should be once again. We should be improving from the last season. Pepe did well from the last season to this one. We expect better out of our youngsters. Unless we're bringing in players that's going to take some of their time, which isn't necessarily a negative, right? Once again, they don't need to be peaking right now. They don't. Just 2 to 3 years from now, then we're ready to go because now we have a full squad. Right now, they're giving us a lot, but we don't need it right now. We really need to build up the squad.
All right, Tony, you wanted to jump in, and then I'm going to go to Alonso for the next what if. And if any of you can think about what ifs after my second what if, we'll run with it. Tony?
As I say, if Pepe gets over 30 starts, I think he should be able to get 15 goals pretty easy.
Yeah, definitely. Alonso, I'm going to give you my second what if. Next season, what if Kieran Tierney is as injury prone as he was last season? I was thinking about this because he pulled up with a niggle in the latest game against the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Do we need to go out? I think we need to go out and get a young left back that's going to give Kieran Tierney some serious competition. But he'll also be able to sit there for a few years while Kieran Tierney's commanding the first team place.
Yeah, I think that we should learn from our past mistakes and not sign a tank of a left back, and we shouldn't sign a 35-year-old whose pass is fine and Leonard Steiner. We should go back and get a kid who's maybe a youngster like in the championship or someone who's in another Premier League team who's not getting much playing time and getting ready for an Arsenal playing time. Because Kieran Tierney, I mean, we need him most, and so it's kind of. But we kind of saw it coming. He was hurt when he came to us from Celtic. Um, so yeah, I think that we should get an improving left back so hopefully that guy can move instead of getting an experienced person who's not gonna do the things that Kieran Tierney can do or is capable of doing. Right? And from him, um, I think it'd be probably gonna do Aaron Tierney
Yeah,
that can play a full season and get a little bit
Tom,
younger.
Tony, do we need to go out and I thought we'd maybe need to get an experienced left back and not hinder Kieran Tierney's progress in the team, hopefully becoming captain eventually. But he is becoming injury prone, and the fact where you're going to get 25, 26 league games out of him, and he's going to be out for 10 to 12 games. Do we need to get a young, up and coming left back that's going to provide some serious competition? I saw you give me the thumbs down on that idea.
No, I think we need another utility player like Chambers and Saka, where they can play multiple positions. Get somebody that can play left center back, a left midfielder, along with being able to play left back.
So you think that we just need real cover for Kieran Tierney for the games he's not going to be playing?
Yep, just real cover, real good utility player that can play in multiple positions.
Gary, where do you stand on this one? I mean, it is becoming a concern now with Kieran Tierney and his injury issues over the years.
Yep. Well, we're have you heard much targets about a left back?
Not yet.
So that's just that sounds a little worrying, isn't it? We should be out there trying to get the best left-footed player we can on the defensive end, right?
Do we need the best
No.
player out there, or do we need a young player
Well,
who's going to be one of the best players in the future?
yes and yes. Either way, you go. Either you go and get someone who's a little bit older who can back up Tierney when he comes off, and not we don't take a big drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at some of these teams; they brought in a lot of these older players, right? Because they're actually mentally and physically they're able to come in and not have to play a lot and still not lose much in the way of their form, right? That's what we need. So Tierney can come out of matches, take a rest when we're playing big games or whatnot. And we can go to that. So I think, yeah. So we can go either way. We can either get somebody who's young and up and coming and following his footsteps, or somebody who's established, right, and doesn't mind coming off the bench. I mean, we watched a lot of these, like I think Chelsea and Liverpool both bring in some players at 28 and up, and they played pretty well for them.
Yeah,
and we could have afforded those same players, right? We could have. They weren't expensive, I don't believe, for what they wanted to get out of them, and we could have got the same. It would have been worthwhile to spend that money.
Liverpool bought Samikas from Olympiacos, I think, and he hasn't really played. He's been understudy for a season.
Well, I mean, Liverpool bought Thiago, right? And they got what they wanted out of him, right? And Chelsea brought in an older player as well, I believe. So you have to find the player that fits where you need them on the pitch, but they're out there, and sometimes you look at them and go, they're a lot older, but that's what we might need, right? At least until we figure out if Tierney is the future of the team.
Obviously, where Kieran Tierney was, he 23, 24, you can go two different ways. You can get a 28, 29-year-old, or you can get an 18, 19-year-old that's going to deputize for him. But it's a real concern. I think we all agree it's a concern going forward this season. I wouldn't necessarily be against having Kieran Tierney as a captain. You can be an injured captain, but you're still a captain when you play, right?
Well,
Is
I
that
mean,
flawed? Is that flawed logic?
Bellerin and Holding and
We did that with
Lacazette
Arteta.
and Xhaka
Arteta
all
seemed to
are
never play
all
when he was
captains on
captain.
this team. So if you can have those 4 players as a captain on that team, then Tierney could easily be a captain on this team. I
Yeah.
don't think it's a matter of should he or can he or should he? He definitely should be given at least a vice captain or whatever it is they give them.
We don't do that anymore. We moved to a 5 captain rule.
The 5 captain rule. Yeah.
5
So
captain rule.
he should be able to get into one of those 5 spots. All right.
Ray Anderson said he would get another left back in that has the same quality as Tierney, just in case we only get 15 matches out of him. And I think we're definitely getting 20 matches out of Tierney, but those other 12 to 15, it wouldn't hurt to get another left back.
Are you sure? The question is, are you sure? Because it's the off season when he's supposed to be recovering, and he's getting injured again.
Mm-hmm. Not
right?
sure.
Right? Think about it. He's supposed to be taking time off. We would have liked him to take time off to recover, get himself healthy, build up whatever muscles and strength and flexibility that he needs to, so he can come in and do a full season.
Over the
and he's not doing that. He's getting injured, and he's getting more injured. And he's just, when he finally does recover, we're in preseason. He's not going to get all the time he needs. So
we bought him injured, says Ray Anderson. If we buy Harry Wilson, I'd be very happy. I'd be buying, hey, I'm from Wales, LOL. Starting to wonder if Celtic knew what they were doing when they sold Tierney at the time was done. They sold him at the moment of a pivotal season in Celtic's history. Yeah, they were going for 10 in a row at the time. Decided sign up Winterburn, Adams, Bold, and Dicko. The back 4, let's bring them back. If we can get them into a cryo chamber and bring them back, that would be excellent indeed. Tony, any thoughts on Kieran Tierney, and then we'll go to Alonso?
Yeah, just like I said, I'd get a utility player that can play either couple of positions. I know we're still looking at a French center back that can also play left back. It costs about 45 million euros, be a better buy than White. I'd go that route, or somebody maybe even a little cheaper that can play left midfield and left back. I just don't think we need an out-and-out left back, especially since we want to kind of cut our squad depth, get better depth. I think you need more utility players.
Yeah, but depth also means if you have an injury, you've got some cover to help in that situation.
We supposedly had that with
you got
Cedric.
Swiss Army knives like Saka or Chambers, then you got the player there.
True, Saka's there as well. But does anyone believe Arteta's going to put Saka back there in that situation again?
When we don't,
he did it when he needed to, but he did it the game after. So who the fuck knows?
Yeah, no, he did it. He didn't do it when he needed to. He did it when he didn't need to.
Same thing.
He's wasteful. He's wasteful. He puts them back there when we don't. It's
and to answer Darren, I think Odegaard is going to stay with Real Madrid. I'm going to open it up to all 3 of you. If you got any what ifs in terms of devil's advocate for next season, what if this happens? How do we fix the problem? Tony?
I got a couple of them. First one's, what if we
did his homework?
Yeah, what if we sign Odegaard? What do we do with Joe Willock since we know he can score? What happens to little Willie?
Yeah, I think Gary and I maybe, I don't know, Gary, do you differ? I would like to keep Joe Willock.
I feel like if they were going to keep him, they would have actually had him playing in a position and style that would actually work. The fact that they didn't, he went elsewhere and did things a little bit differently, and it worked out for him.
I think if he gets the minutes, he'll score.
But at Newcastle, didn't they play a 5-3-2?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't feel like he was in a position like he is now. So I think that's why it looks different. That's why he was able to get.
He played in Europa League, admittedly a lower level, but he was scoring in the Europa League when he was playing for Arsenal.
That meant nothing to Arteta.
He
Balogun
didn't play him in a league,
Balogun
did
was playing pretty well from what we saw. Meant nothing. Nelson was playing pretty well. It meant nothing. I mean, all the youngsters were playing some. I mean, the only one I think Maitland-Niles is probably the only one that didn't play as well as he did. Didn't play it well in the Europa League games. So
I get what you're saying, Ray Anderson, but I think it was a lot of small minutes combined. He got 10 or 15 minutes here and there. He was never able to get it into a flow. Gary, sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, no, I just don't. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think they used him the right. They had a way to use him, utilize his skill set.
Mm-hmm.
So if they didn't, they would have to change some of the things that they were doing to put him in positions to where he would be able to score like he did, and maybe coming off the bench. He came off he scored a lot of those goals coming off, right? Coming off after 20, with 20, 50, 30 minutes left in the match.
In
right?
the Europa League.
No, when he went to Newcastle, right?
Yeah.
He didn't start a lot of those games, so he came out and gave the team a boost, right? And that's what we've always looking for, that, right? Go to our bench at the end of a match. We need just somebody to come in there and be able to, put some pressure on that back line, and that's what he did. Once again, don't we go for? Shouldn't we be able to sell somebody when they're at the top? This is the peak. We're probably going to be able to sell him right now. Right,
Agreed.
a year from now, he is not going to be worth that much to a team. Now, I don't know what the number is that they're being offered, if they've been offered at all.
It's south of 30 million.
So
About
25,
I think.
20 to 30. Yeah.
25 is pretty well when you think we can't get 20 for Xhaka. This is a guy who didn't play many minutes for us.
Yeah,
25 would be perfect, and if you can get up to 27, even better. So,
he's the one player it tugs on my heartstrings. I want to keep him.
You want to keep him, but for what reason? The team just he wasted away after the Europa League.
He played well in the Europa League, and I think he played well because he was playing
after the group stage.
And a slightly different formation. Change the formation, and it'll do better.
Let's look at who he was playing. He was playing with Emile Smith-Rowe. He was playing with Saka. He was playing with Pepe. He was playing with younger players. Lacazette. He was playing with Lacazette. Put him in the first team in the league with those players. I'm telling you, he flourishes.
They didn't do that.
Slightly different
They
formation.
didn't do it. But
they didn't do it. So then, why are they going to? You think once again, you expected them to change their ways for a player that isn't? Is he a starter for us? We don't even know.
No.
Not the way.
What's the point of keeping Arteta then if he never learns from his mistakes?
Stefan, been a long day, fellas. Turning in for the night. Great stream. Thank you. And we're closing out in the next few minutes. It might not even make it to 2 hours here. Tony's the timekeeper. Willock needs to come off the bench if he stays and not have to think about anything else than scoring. Correct, right? Exactly.
The trick is, will Arteta actually
set the team up for him?
Yeah, is that his plan? Will he be actually bringing him in for that particular reason, or will he be bringing him on to do something else? Right?
Yeah, definitely. To go back to your point, Tony, I don't think Odegaard's coming, but if Odegaard was coming back, probably Willock doesn't have a space in the team to play.
I would change the formation.
Yeah, I think he can flourish in 4-2-3-1 as well.
I don't think so. I think we have to play 2 box-to-box and 1 central midfielder.
Are we done with what ifs? Gary?
No.
Alonso?
No.
Tony, Gary, Alonso, you got anything?
Yeah,
I told you I had multiple ones.
Yeah, I wanted to hear the others that Tony had.
Wait, what is?
Tony's, so I'll give you an example. What if...
Let Tony just ask us and then we can answer.
Yeah, we'll get to Tony. I just want Alonso to understand so you can think about one. What if this would happen next season? What should we do? So, Tony, take it away.
What if William Saliba never plays for us because Marseille's wanting him on loan The player is wanting to stay at Nice. He wants a permanent move to Nice. Do we just watch his highlight video over and over again?
Yep. We're going to be doing
Seemed
the
like
same
that thing cost like $5
Serge
million.
Gnabry. Just think of that. That's probably what you
Well,
potentially could be seeing again.
Well, I think that it's Arteta's fault. I think that this is an example of him not trusting Saliba's talents. I think this is where Arteta's at fault. And I think this is why if he gets fired or sacked, that's one of the reasons why. It's like he doesn't realize talent. He doesn't understand like what's in front of him as far as talent goes. This is exactly why, his on Enzo Niles wasn't great because Enzo Niles should be playing for Arsenal. He should be playing besides Party. He shouldn't have given up on Reece Nelson. He shouldn't have given up on Joe Willock.
Yeah.
Enzo
Niles.
Right.
The list goes on, right? The list seems to go on.
And if Saliba goes, then it's his fault because he didn't cater to what Saliba could do, and he didn't give him enough opportunity to succeed.
Alonso, I'm going to pull this string a little bit further here. Is Ben White coming in to replace Saliba or Rob Holding?
Well, it wouldn't make sense, and it's bad business for a player, for a team to let a player go if he's signed a new contract. That's stupid. That's saying that Rob Holding not good enough for Arsenal anymore, and even for a squad player. And I think if I were Arsenal, I would do this move on a several. I would make this. It would be because Saliba is not going to get moved on. Is why Ben White will come in. Because, like I said, Rob Holding just signed a contract extension. And what are you saying about Rob Holding now at Arsenal? It doesn't make sense.
So you think the odd man out would be Saliba?
Of course, because that's dumb. Why would we want to resign about Rob Holding?
We don't like it, but that's what it looks like, right?
After he just resigned, that to me is bad business. That's unfair to Rob Holding.
Yeah, that's like you have a company, Tony. You have machines running, but you're not going to run one of the machines that you bought. It's just going to sit in the corner and not be used. Tony, same question to you. If Ben White comes in, who's getting sacrificed? Holding or Saliba?
Either or. Can't we just get Sal Holding and Sal Saliba?
No.
Why not?
No, because I posed the question, and you must answer. You must.
I didn't block your.
Oh my God!
I answered it. Sell both of them.
Tony, just
sell both of them. Pick one. You can't sell both.
Both.
Who would you sell first?
I'd sell Holding because he'd probably go for a little bit more.
There you go.
He has some Premier League experience.
So you would keep Saliba.
And he's English and he can play on help the homegrown rule on other teams. But I'd sell both of them, Ray.
All right, I got you. Gary, what's going to happen?
This is the bad business.
Holding or Saliba?
This is the bad business that we're talking about, right? This is the bad business that we're talking about. Wasteful. The team spent a lot of money on Saliba. Is Saliba not good enough to be on this team?
He is. He's good enough.
Is he better than Holding?
Possibly, potentially. Well, we'll never know until he plays in the Premier League, right?
Yeah, he needs to play. But they have a lot of money. They're still they still got 3 more years to pay off, no matter what they do, right? And they have to so that means if they sell them and it only covers the balance of the transfer, then what? They got nothing for it. They got to sell them for double that, right, to make their money back, make some money on this deal. I don't know how much is it. He's in his. This will be his third year, right, with Arsenal,
We'll be going into
right? And if it was 25 mil for the transfer, and say it was 5 mil every year, right?
I think
They have
it's
to sell him.
27.
They have to.
27. Yeah.
Yeah. They would have
Right.
to. They would have to sell. Oh, it's 27 for Saliba.
Yep.
Yeah, but no. So what I'm saying is, so there's 15 mil probably left on the transfer balance, right? At least. So you got to sell them for 30, right? I mean,
Yeah.
can we get 30?
Anderson.
Can we get 30 for him?
Be a bit tough to
Nope.
get 30 for him. He hasn't played too much.
Exactly. So so you can't wait. Like holding can rot on the bench for Saliba, right? Talent, especially if you play him and you get the best out of him, even if he doesn't play all the matches. What we've seen of him is pretty good. All right. He plays a lot taller than Holding does, right?
And with the provision that Ray Anderson said here, some stars come to the Premier League and fail. So many fans think that Saliba will be great. Needs to take a step back. We need to take a step back and just look patiently at him. You know.
Well, that means that the scouting was wrong then, right? That means that the scouting was really bad then, because his part, right? Fontana seems to be doing okay, and he wasn't. His evaluation wasn't as good. So
Right.
what was it? Was it Arsenal? Was it the player mentality? Was it the player's mentality coming in? What was it? Right. I mean, and we're talking about 2 years, right? We don't even get to see him play. I don't know.
I know.
I don't know.
Frustrating, right? Tony, got any more what ifs to the process?
I probably could, but let's carry on.
You want to switch tracks to a quick chat about the Euros 2020, and I haven't seen a lot of games live myself, but Tony, have you been enjoying the competition, the games?
I've only watched about half of them. I'm just ready for Premier League to be back.
Who you seeing as the favorites? Give me four of the top teams that you think will get to the semifinals.
Italy, France. Not really sure about the other two.
Belgium, Italy, France, Belgium. Did Germany look good?
Not really. I'll throw England in there. What the hell?
He's right. Usually there's a surprise team in there. Who could be the surprise
I'll throw
team?
England in there.
The Netherlands, they look pretty decent.
Yeah, that was my dark horse. So
Belgium, Netherlands, France, and Italy. Gary, what do you think?
I think
Wales in there for Darren and Bernie.
Wales. I think England will be the surprise. France.
We're overlooking Italy. We're overlooking
Germany.
England, right?
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, I mean, they maybe they're starting slow, right? Maybe they're starting slow. Maybe Southgate's got a plan, to bring them on so that they're kind of peaking going in. Who knows what he's doing? But that would be a surprise pick coming in. Italy would be a surprise pick as well. France for sure.
Were Portugal that good?
I think they can be. That's the thing, and I think you have to, if they have enough players, I think, to be able to compete. Whether they're going to be put in positions to where they can take advantage of the other teams is the question. Ronaldo. If they're having a really if you're not hearing much about Ronaldo in terms of the touches on the field and stuff like that, I think he's gonna have a good game, because whenever he does touch, it's gonna be for scoring chances. All right. So you want to hear a lot of those other names on that team, right? You want to hear the Brunos. You want to hear who else they got?
Felix.
Yeah.
Neves.
Joao Felix. Yeah.
Neves, yeah. I mean, like I said, if you're talking about a lot of those other players, then this they could be having a good game. But if all the talks about Ronaldo, it's probably not a good thing because that means that those other players aren't involved much in the game, and we're talking about what could have been with Ronaldo, right? So
Great to have Ray Anderson here with us. Great to have Darren and
Definitely.
everyone who has joined us so far tonight.
Wanda.
And Brownie too.
yeah. No, I mean I saw Brownie's comments about COVID battering the market, but that's why we can't be wasting our money when we already have players in house that already, to some degree, cover certain positions we have already. Right, going out to get a Ben White when you just spent money on holding, and you're never going to get your money back for Saliba. To some degree, doesn't make sense, right? You're taking a loss on Saliba, spending a lot more money on a center back 2 years in a row, right? Right, 2 years in a row, we would be spending a lot of money on another center back, right? At some point, we're going to have to not buy another center back. I mean, we had 8 coming into the last season, and we still bought a center back. Now we're talking about buying another one when we've got one that hasn't even played for us. I mean, it just...
That's why you sell 2 of them. Bring in 1, sell 2.
Yeah, who's buying holding?
Somebody will buy him.
Who?
Hey, Ray, it was 110 and 106.
They lost?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. They're down by a game now.
3 games to 2, yeah.
3 games to 2, yeah. Okay. Let's round it up by Arsenal transfer business. Gary's the best person to go to first for this one. Just to round it out, Gary.
Yeah, it definitely is around. That's how much business we've done so far.
What
no
is
one
the
coming
strategy?
in, nobody going out.
What is the strategy? We seem to be looking for every player in every position.
Except for striker.
James Maddison being the latest one, right? Except for striker, right?
I don't know. Have we heard much about a right back? I don't know. Maybe I missed that. Have we heard much about a right back?
It was that guy from
Do we need a right back if we sell Bellerin?
We need a right back if we kept Bellerin, so it doesn't really matter what we do. We need a right back, right?
I thought Chambers looked good there.
Is Maddison a credible target? Do you think Maddison would be tempted to come to Arsenal? Do you think Maddison would be is a real target for us?
50, 60 million is what I heard for him.
No.
Right?
I
50,
agree,
60? 50, 60? No. And we wouldn't spend that on Neves, so whatever.
Lokonga seems to be a very, very decent possibility for Anderlecht.
Is he on the Belgian team?
I'm not sure. I don't know if he might be with an African team. I'm not sure.
I don't
know a whole ton about him, actually. Arsenal's transfers driving you crazy, Gary.
Because nothing good's happening.
Nothing's happening good right now.
Yeah.
Sergio Ramos to Arsenal. No,
he's just throwing trolling, just throwing some salt on the wounds. Brownie, ha.
As of now, Alonso, it looks like Lokonga and Ben White are the most viable transfer rumors.
Well, I would understand Maddison 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago, but right now it's just he's always hurt, so why take a chance on another hurt player? But yeah, I mean, I think ideally we want Basuma and Odegaard, right? But unfortunately, that's unreasonable right now. So I mean, you can see the rumors that are happening and our links and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, we Arsenal fans have grown accustomed to waiting until the last day of the transfer window, where all the moves have already been made, and we're waiting for a deadline day. That's how it usually works, and
July 16th.
It's
You
like
heard
first
it
of
here
August.
first. July 16th.
Well,
I
you
gotta
know,
put that in my calendar here.
it should have been done a long time ago if that's the case, right? But it hasn't worked out yet.
Tony
So
believes.
it's just been really, really discouraging. And I think Brian has and Gary has said that maybe it's this whole COVID thing where I think teams are on a budget right now, and so that's why it's taking a long time for teams to be signing players. Who knows? But I think right now, you would get that Arsenal would maybe learn from their mistakes, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I now declare July 16th Rainbow Rays Day.
Rainbow Ray holiday. Rainbow Ray holiday. That won't be your final thought. We're going to go around on final thoughts. Start
Race
off with
celebrating Pride Month a month late.
Tony. Pride Month a month late. So, yes, let's celebrate. Indeed. Tony, final thoughts on the fixtures, Euros, what ifs?
I think for fixtures, we'll see what we have in the first couple of months. Hopefully, Arteta's words are correct that the team will do better and been wanting to play with crowds. I still think it's to drown out him and help the team more than anything. I think we'll get a better start to the season than most people are predicting. People are saying it's a hard schedule, but
They
if
called
you
me
look
the
at City
optimistic
and
one.
Chelsea's schedule, that's a hard schedule. Plus, we don't
It
have
is.
Europe.
Yeah.
Our schedule's not that hard.
I'm usually the optimistic one. I will have to start recharacterizing everybody on this panel here. But Tony, the most optimistic one. If I'm agreeing with Stan, the man, in thinking that it's 85-15, we're hanging on by a thread, Gary. We look at the fixtures. A thread starting to get frayed a little bit because of that first 15 games next year. What do you think?
Yeah, it's gonna be a struggle, but we should be all prepared for it going in, and that means doing all the business prior to.
Like
right?
you're prepared for the transfer summer.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be 4 weeks from now. We're gonna be sitting here going.
There wasn't ever that be any business hardly done before the Euros.
There you go.
Yeah,
There's only 2 days
told you.
between difference.
yeah. It's gonna be the Olympics, and we're gonna be sitting here going. We got what 2 people in, maybe. Yeah, yeah. No, I right now, I will want to be pleasantly surprised, but I'm not expecting much. So, yeah, enjoy the Euros.
Yeah,
I
and
think we're
Brownie,
still working on selling players instead of bringing them in.
the ranking system was also based, I think, on friendly. So Belgium probably had a false number 1 spot a few years ago. I think they're the real deal this year. They're going to win it. They're going to win the Euros. Belgium.
Who, Belgium?
To have a striker like Lukaku can go a long way.
That generation's never to do anything, really. They're to be a disappointment.
They're just
Some
going
of
to
the
make
Dutch teams.
chocolate. They're just going to make chocolate, Tony. Good Belgian chocolate.
Chocolate and waffles.
Waffles.
God.
Alonso, final thoughts.
I like
Alonso.
a lot of Belgian beers.
That's funny answer because apparently his name is Alonso. So
He's Belgian. He's half Belgian. Didn't you know that, Alonso?
I am by the amount of chocolate, beer, and waffles I've eaten.
Jesus Christ.
I should be like 75% Belgian.
He's actually been pretty quiet today, Alonso.
Yeah, because somebody censored me off a top.
All right, Alonso. Your
Arsenal fans
final
are
thoughts.
going PG-13.
So I think with the schedule, I think that people are in Europe and other teams, and I think that with us not having Europe, I think it'd be in our benefit. But Man City are a tough team, and so is Liverpool. Those are 2 teams that we have a hard time against, and we've beaten Man City, we've beaten Chelsea, we've beaten Tottenham. We beat Leicester last year. It's just the bottom teams that really come back and bite us, and it all depends on the transfer business, whether or not we get him before the 16th of July. It'll say a lot about the way our dude and the other dude do their business, and hopefully it's soon. Hopefully it's the right players. Hopefully it's players that want to be here and not forced to be here. And at some point, Arteta has to learn how to trust his younger players.
Yeah. Well said. Definitely. Listen, I think we will leave it there. Right? Unless anyone's got final words of wisdom.
If we have to, I think words of wisdom. Was it July 16th?
July 16th.
Be there. Be rainbow raised holiday.
Ray says it's to be BDS day.
What? I got one question, Gary. Why am I Rainbow Ray if Tony's more optimistic than me?
You are Rainbow Ray. I'm sorry. I can't change who you are. I think.
He's examined your poop before it's all rainbows and unicorns.
No, I have not.
And Skittles.
Don't say that on video. I did not do anything with you. Yeah, that is. This is why we don't have to. This is not the Tony we usually get, right? And you just heard it right there.
I remember you on the last podcast. This is not the Gary we usually get.
Gary was against the wall last Thursday.
This is that weird off season where it's just like crap. Yeah, none of this crap. Oh,
all right. Listen, we'll leave it there. Thanks to everyone for watching this unique channel.
Happy Pride Month.
Unique channel with a unique panel. So thanks for watching. We do appreciate you always. And we'll see what happens. The fixture list to me looks very similar to last season.
We'll know on July 15th how Rainbow Rays Day is going to go. Well, the 15th we'll know because we'll have a show, right? So
you already checked, huh?
Somebody just put it in. Somebody just put it in the chat. So on the 15th, when we do our show, we'll know how good Rainbow Rays Holiday is going to be. By then, and then we'll just, Then,
hey, Gary,
yeah.
I moved it to a Wednesday. I have the power.
You want to do 2 days? You want to give yourself 2 days of magic from Arsenal?
I moved this one to a Wednesday. I could move that to a Friday.
Just to see, you might not be happy.
Ray Anderson, watch this space. More than likely, it's going to be the 15th. Because when it's the 15th, I don't have to hear I told you
it's
so.
It's a Thursday, so if you do it on your regular Thursday, we'll be sitting here Thursday going, well, we've got, 25 hours left until Rainbow Rays Day, and they're going to pull off this miraculous, all these transfers in the last day.
Hey, Tony, what's BDS?
I can't say it, can I?
Yeah.
Big dick swinging?
Oh, here we go.
He set the trap, Alonso. He set the trap. Great podcast, Darren, and happy Pride, indeed. Happy Pride.
Hey, you know what? If Arteta is doing that, it'll be Rainbow Rays and BDS, all happening on the same day. Then you could do it. You could be Ray. It could be you in your rainbow suit, BDS.
So we get this big dick around.
Listen, if we get the majority of our transfer business, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Ray will have a full Blarney Stone.
Ray Anderson, thanks for joining.
All right,
us.
Thank you everyone for joining us.
Always interaction, leaving us questions, leaving us material to talk about because things are thin on the ground. We'll catch you in the next one. We are out of here. Thanks everyone for watching.
All right, see you.
Cheers.
See you guys.